In England's darkest hours, Churchill rose to power through acts of heroism and confidence that kept the Germans at bay during times of crisis. Known as one of the superpowers to stop the Nazis in their track. How did it begin? The year is November 30th, 1874. Born to an aristocratic family in Oxfordshire, Churchill had a relatively elegant early life in his upper-class family. His father was a well-known politician, and his mother was an American socialite. Churchill would eventually graduate from the American Military College in Sandhurst on December 1894. In 1900, Churchill joined the British House of Commons as part of the Conservative Party, later crossing the chamber to advocate for the Liberal Party. He implemented progressive social reforms such as an 8-hour workday, a government-mandated minimum wage, and a state-run labor exchange for unemployed workers, as well as public health insurance.
On September the 1st, 1939, the Nazi army smashed into Poland.
In September of 1939, British declared war on Germany. After Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain resigned in 1940, Churchill would have to step in to serve as the Prime Minister of Great Britain. Refusing to negotiate an armistice with Nazi Germany, Churchill would have to be ready for the nightmares that would ensue. On May 26, 1940, Churchill would be put to the test. After Germany had breached French defenses, they were now advancing swiftly through French territory. With nowhere to go, the Allies were surrounded at the beach of Dunkirk. In a futile attempt to save Allied soldiers, Churchill led an expedition to evacuate as many possible back to Allied lands. Under air and ground support, around 330,000 soldiers were safely evacuated.
What General Weygand has called the Battle of France is over. The Battle of Britain is about to begin. Upon this battle depends the survival of Christian civilization. Upon it depends our own British life and the long continuity of our institutions and our empire.
After the miracle that ensued on Dunkirk, Churchill knew that there would be no second chance. Conquering France, Germany was now looking at Britain to take over. One of the last known standing democracies in Europe, Churchill would have to prepare for the incoming invasion of Great Britain. From July 10th till October 31st, 1940, Churchill was able to maintain order and successfully fend off the Germans. After the US entered the war in 1941, Churchill arrived in Washington, D.C. to discuss war strategy with President Franklin. Securing US aid through the Lend-Lease Act, Churchill was able to order war goods on credit. After Germany's defeat in World War II, Churchill was a hero to many. Attending the Yalta Conference and the Potsdam Conference, he discussed with Roosevelt and Stalin the organization of Europe after the war. In 1945, Churchill proposed plans for social reforms in Britain, but was unable to convince the public. He lost the United Kingdom general election to Clement Attlee in July 1945. Despite Churchill's defeat, he became the leader of the opposition party and continued to have an impact on world affairs. Churchill believed in ideas from social Darwinism, Whig history, and Tory democracy. He was not religious and believed that the state was required to ensure minimum standards of life, labor, and social well-being for all citizens. He referred to himself as a conservative and a Tory Democrat. Eventually, Churchill was forced to resign from his position as the Prime Minister of England. Despite retiring from his position, he remained an active part of Parliament until he retired from all politics in 1964. Passing away the following year at the age of 90, his funeral was the largest state funeral, attended by representatives from 112 countries. Upon his death, Churchill displayed countless acts of courage and remains a symbol of hope and peace for years to come.